Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for Thursday, March the 3rd, and just starting on the weekly chart here, and then we'll sort of move in. Now I do have bearish counts, but we don't need to look at those today because we're pushing higher, so we'll just stay with the intraday market pushing higher based on the wave 4 being in play here as the low. But as I've always been harping on about, wave 4s can get complicated. There could be more to this. I don't know. We just need to take one step at a time. That's the only way I can. That's the only way I can work. It's different if we're in a trend, but we're not. We're in a correction, so it just takes a lot more to be cautious. But all of this said, we have pulled back to our target, the 4,100 roughly. So. That's good, and we're starting to see the market push up. We've had the sort of stochastics on side, a bit wobbly here, but just the fact that it's down here, and we've got a couple of different ways to count that to the downside. That's all good. Now let's just move into the daily chart. So I've had it like this as an A and a B and a C wave here. I know it's really odd, and a lot of other Elliott people would sort of laugh at that, but we can look at it as a W, an X and a Y as well. But either way, our main point was that we were looking for the move up here being wave 1 and then pulling back for this. One of the other points here too is that I don't need these. We'll need this little guy here. Let me just double check if I've taken that from here or for the next one down. Yeah, so that's the 61.8%. So, 5, this is, as I've mentioned before, the 5 through here is the balance line for this whole topping process and the correction. So the 5 is really important, a bit like Bitcoin at 50,000. It's got the same sort of thing, a bigger pattern, of course, but it was so I just simplify. It's all about the number 5. So if that 5 becomes the support, then we'll push up to this 5. It's that simple. Okay, so the reality is that this move up here, we've got it as 5 waves, and but it can go an A and the B wave and the C wave here and fail and come down at that point. Right, so that's what we need to be aware of at this stage. So it could come back. Really, I wasn't going to talk about the bearish stage, but I think it's okay to talk about it. So it could come back to 3,800, and in that case, instead of being this wave 4, we would have to go to a larger wave 4 at this point. That wasn't very large, was it? But yeah, so that would be that. I think I've got that somewhere. Let me think about that for a moment. That was that count, the WXY. So that's looking good. This one, yeah, right. Now we had looked at this. We had, I had looked. We'd been looking at this, but I didn't have this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in play here. I did have a 1 and 2 in there, which I would change. But what I was sort of thinking is that if this move up to 4,500 or just above it is in 3 waves, well, it can come back to the 38.2% retracement level here at the 3.8. So anyway, we just keep an eye on it. It's not like, it's an issue. It's something we have to move through. We can see, just looking into the future and calling it for what it is. But anyway, coming back here, we're looking at it like this, and I'll go to the intraday and we'll have a look at it in that bearish count as well, and we'll come back to this. I wasn't going to do all that, but so in this case, so basically an A and a B and a C coming back into the 61.8%, which is a little bit higher at that point. Okay, so anyway, I just want to make that clear so we don't get lost in being bullish, too much at right at that point, So let's just go to our intraday. This is 2,000 ticks. Now, of course, I was expecting it to come back to the 50-60% retracement level. The stocks didn't, so if you've watched the stock video, and the indices haven't, all the indices haven't either. So this is really what we're looking for at this stage. And yeah, look, but in a nutshell, we've got 1, 2, we've been counting up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third wave, fourth wave, and the fifth wave, as you know. So I got the ABC wrong here. If you are long in through here, then we can put the stop at this point here. And as I mentioned, it's just that the 61.8% comes in somewhere up here somewhere. So we'll just see that. But what we're looking for here is a nice classic, if I can figure out that we get a corrective move at this point here, then I know that we're bullish. So look, all in all, we should, obviously at the old highs here, it's going to have a problem at 4.4, right? And maybe I've got the wave 2 wrong here. Maybe there is a move back down here first and then up. But I don't think that's the case, because Microsoft and Apple have both taken out the tops, okay? So other stocks are lagging. So we should be on the right track here. So you can also look to add with the classic trading levels pattern at the 4,400. So you know what that is. That's this pattern here. So if that's the 400, we've got the arrival right now. It's going to be pushed back on the close and then push up eventually through the European session and then fold back here. So it'll be a bit sort of ugly across here because it will be in the it'll be in the Asian European session and yada yada yada. But that's pushing to the upside. So yeah, I was looking at this being, if this is wave 1 here, for example, and wave 2 here, well then we should look at all of this being wave 1 here. In fact, this is a little bit behind Bitcoin and Ethereum, but same pattern really. But yeah, but they're a bit more advanced. They've already got their wave 1 ends up here, and they're going into their wave 2s over here at the moment. But obviously there'll be some interest in Bitcoin for the Russians not being able to have access to capital markets. So anyway, that's so we'll just keep looking at this, but for the meantime we're pretty safe. But I just wanted to put the warning sign out up here at this point and with this number here, okay? So but yeah, being long here is good. I don't think the 100 tick is going to give us any more information than we've got here, I don't think. Let me just get in some more data here. I haven't updated this, so yeah, it's nothing really to do here with all of this. So, but basically, it's just building in your long trades. You know how you see fit. So we want on 400 here. Hopefully, you've got one in here somewhere. That's minor group 1. This is another important thing here. Don't mind me pointing out, is that this is 4,000, which is a medium level. And then we've got our minor level, so from 4,000 to 5,000 here, to the major trading level. We've got the Fibonacci sequence of numbers, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. And 1, 2, and 3 make up group 1. If we get a tested support on here with the classic trading levels pattern, it's quite a big one, then we're going to be pushing to the 5, the next level. If we get this if we can see this is a classic trading levels pattern at 5, the second strongest number, because it's going to fail, that's where it's going to fail from. Not right on there, it can be above and below. We need to, we've got sub levels below and above to, we understand that, how that all that works, but anyway, we'll talk about that more when we get there. But 1, 2, 3 here, beautiful support on 3 now. That will take us to 5. We'll check it at 5, and then it'll be up to 8 at that point. And when we talk about number 8, we talk about group 2. So 65, as I call it, probably not the right terminology for it, but 4,650 in there, and then the 72 in here. So they all make that group 2. So it's kind of good. It breaks down the problem from going from 4,000 to 5,000. It breaks it down into segments. We've got 1, 2, and 3 that make up group 1, and we can, we understand we get classic trading level patterns at those to build in, and then we've got from 3 to 5, and we know our numbers in between there and the smaller fractals. So it just helps us break down the problems, and it just helps us with support and resistance, and also the Elliott wave and the Fibonacci and all that. So it kind of ties it in nicely. I found it very helpful. I found very few people that use Elliott wave, just pure Elliott wave, and can make money consistently. There's very few. So to have a little bit of help, an indicator or good trade setups, or being able to read the volume, or a few other little things to help shore up, because the Elliott wave is not really a trading system. It's just like, well, if we get 5 waves here, if we get 5 waves in that little move, that means we'll get another 5. That could be corrective. If we get this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, that's 5 waves in the opposite direction of the previous trend. We'll get a correction, then we'll get another 5. That's all it is. That's sort of helpful. I know a good setup when I see one. That's all. But I can't consistently give you the right things. I can get it reasonably right. So let's move on, and let's just quickly have a look at the other one. So the Nasdaq is the same. So we've been counting 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and this way we've got an ABC pattern here, and we can see we're taking out the top. We've taken out the B wave here, so that's where you need to go long. But at the same time, that's the top of group 1 here as well. So 14,000 is the closest largest number, and we've got group 1 above and group 2 below. That its job is to hold it to that number, and it does the job most of the time. And if you understand that, then it just makes life easier. And then you also know too that if that top of that group 1 becomes a tested support, that 300 there, then you know that you're leaving the 14,000 and you're going up to one step at a time, and the first step is the 500, the next level. So I reckon it's pretty damn good myself. So the DJ also counting up from wave 4 here as 1, 2, all the same sort of pattern, slightly different. In this case, it did pull back here, so that's good. And we can also look to add on top of the 34. 34 is also important as a Fibonacci number when you go 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144, and 144 is like a cycle, and that's that's the same number that Gann would use as well. He's 12 12s, he's square of 144. That's the number that they both meet on, so they kind of their numbers are pretty much the same, really. So anyway, that's all that there for that, and then that would leave us with the Russell doing the same thing as well here. So we can also look at wave 1 and 2 here, and then moving up here. So we can add another position up here somewhere. That would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Well, there's a lot of, you can just buy it right there, really. But basically there will be some sort of 1, 2 here, which will work out tomorrow, and there'll be sort of a 1 and 2 in here, and then moving up further. We'll get a classic trading levels pattern at 100 here, but taking out the old top here will, cause a bit of problems there as well. But all in all, look, as you can see here as well, it's sitting squarely on that 2000 now, that major trading level 2, and we just need to buy new highs above the B wave, above this high here, because when the market takes out this high here, it's telling us that this number has been tested, and the demand is built up, and it's proving to you that by taking out that high that that we're on the right track. And this is where the Elliott comes in, because we can count 5 waves over here. Sometimes we don't always get it right, but sometimes it sticks out like dog's balls, and other times it doesn't, So, I mean, this is a perfect setup. I don't think it gets any better than this. This is the time to go long, because we've got those 5 waves, because we've got support, because we're taking out B wave high and highs. I don't think it gets any better. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.